Very Save Tonight. Before that, we had Inner City, Good Life. It's 16 minutes past 8. It's BBC Radio London. Let's get into our next conversation of the night. We are heading to South London now and into one of the city's most iconic late night venues. Now, as Eurovision season creeps closer, there's a show in Vauxhall that has become a bit of a cult tradition. Part cabaret, part chaos, and very much a love letter to all things Eurovision. Set inside the legendary Royal Vauxhall Tavern, Eurovision Your Decision is back for another run. Bigger, louder, and just as gloriously unpredictable. Joining me now are the show's writer, director and performer Tim MacArthur and cast member David McMullen. Welcome along to the programme, both of you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It is a pleasure. Love the sound of this. It sounds extremely
Camp.
Energetic, highly spirited. I just love the sound of all of it. So Tim, let me start with you. And just tell us about how you'd describe your Eurovision, Your Decision, to someone who's never been.
It is a chaotic, fun evening of silliness, outrageousness. It's everything. It's like watching the competition, but it's a stage show, cabaret show that is interactive, which is a celebration of the good times of Eurovision. So there's 4 performers. And the 4 of us do everything within the show. So there's 15 songs.
What?
Yeah,
15 songs.
15 songs,
Okay.
they're only 3 minutes long because that's the length of
It's a
Eurovision.
lot of music,
It's
isn't
a
it?
lot of music.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wigs. There's lots of quick changes. I think Hannah, who's in the show with us, we worked out today that she's in 11 of the 15 numbers.
Oh my gosh.
I know, so she's really happy she's back. And and it's just joyous. It's one of those things because this is the 6th year we've done it. And I feel like we have built up such a loyal audience of supporters for this show that they come every year and they're telling their friends who are bringing more people, and it's just growing and growing. And it's just, and I think you don't even have to like Eurovision to appreciate this show because the comedy in it stands alone and aside from the actual Eurovision. Because it's all the songs that are performed are always quite comedic anyway in how they present them, but what we do with it, we do that, but then we add a bit of a twist on top of how it's originally staged, which brings in the comedy.
And so, just sticking with you for a moment, Tim. So you said this is the 6th year that you're doing it, and there's 15 songs. Do the songs change, or the songs change every year?
Every year, and
Wow.
I think because last year we realised, with it being at the Royal Vauxhall Tavern last year as well, we realised we were able to talk to our supporters and our fans who came to see the show. So they would give us feedback. And one thing they said, they really enjoyed the fact when we're all in group numbers together. So this year there's a lot of stuff that we're all in together, which is going to be a bit more manic backstage with the costume changes. Yeah, it's just joyous. It's exhausting. I mean, we've just literally we started rehearsals on Monday, and we ran before we came here. We ran all the 15 numbers, so they're all blocked, and we're going to tidy and clean them the next couple of days. But it's going to be a fun show, and I also think there's going to be a lot of stuff that our regulars will be like, oh, I forgot about that. So I think there's 2 that we've done before, which are just, we have to do them because they're sort of iconic in the structure of the show, and we know the audience will laugh at them how we do them anyway. But the rest are pretty new, aren't they, David?
So David, you have been. This is your fourth time in the show.
It is.
What keeps you coming back? Let's just talk about you for a moment. Your credits include The Book of Mormon, Rent, Hairspray, Peter Pan. So I wonder how much of a departure from those types of roles this is.
This is unlike anything I've done. I've been in the business for about 20 years now, and this show, it's just a crazy treat of a show. We get to do so much like fun, madcap, energetic, comedic, amazing songs, but then we do some incredible ballads as well. Like, I found that this show has actually pushed me to do things that have pushed me outside of my comfort zone. There's been a couple of years where Tim's thrown some songs at me and I'm like, Tim, I don't think I can actually sing this. And he's like, no, you can. And so there's also challenges for us as a performer. And actually this year, we were counting earlier, we're attempting, I'm going to say, I think 7 languages
Mm.
in the show.
Wow.
So we're
Yeah.
like we're singing in Serbian, Polish,
Yeah.
French, Italian, and we have to teach ourselves those songs, and that's part of the challenge and the excitement of it as
Yeah.
well. Trying to do the best job that we can.
And our other cast member Jo was doing a French song, and I have to say
Oh,
she
yeah.
sang it today, and it was like we were like, I think that's going to win, because the other great thing with this show is the audience vote for who they decide to win an interval.
So let's talk about that, because obviously there's a story that you're following, but then you're also putting it then into the hands of your audience. They are voting. So essentially, they are going to tell you how the story goes.
Yeah, or how it ends, or which is their favourite performance of the night.
Yeah.
So every show we have no idea. I mean, it is sort of interesting because me and Jo, we play the presenters who are like really bad, typical Eurovision presenters sometimes.
I think they're fabulous. They're so much fun.
But they are, and they're all really quirky.
There's always a quirk.
There's always a quirk.
Quirky, absolutely.
Quirk.
Yes.
So we really play on that, and
Yeah.
then we sort of get to the end of Act 1 where we presented all the songs, and then we say, okay, it's now your turn to vote. You scan the QR code and you vote for your favourite performance of the night. And then Act 2 we do the voting. We go to all the countries, which are all pre-recorded little movies which David and Hannah play, all those characters.
Right. Wow.
And then so we sort of have a winner from that series, but then we pretend we had the votes from the audience vote to reveal the grand winner of the night. And if it's either myself or Jo, then that involves a logistic quick change and trying to work that out. If it's a group number, it's chaos because we all have to, the winning song is the winning song, so one of us will do a particular mega quick change to come on. So.
Yeah.
And it being the 6th year, we have had some hilarious moments at this part of the show, because every performance, we don't know who's going to win.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting for us. And then as the run continues, we start to get a little competitive with each other. I'm not going to lie. David has been known at sometimes to push me down the stairs in a quick change.
How dare you?
I know, do you know what I mean? But it also brings that out, because we just think how exciting that we don't know the winner, and it changes nearly every show, doesn't it?
Last year, especially, I think it changed pretty much every night, which was the exciting thing, because
Yeah.
we don't know what's going to happen, and
Neither does the audience.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is going to really stretch you as performers, as
Yeah.
you said. It's very different. It's a real departure from all of the other work that you do, David, on stage particularly. And so, but every night you're being tested. I mean, has there ever been a moment, David, where you felt there was something that's happened because the audience have got a level of involvement that you just didn't see coming and you weren't prepared for?
Oh gosh,
Does that happen all the time?
Well, a couple of years ago, we did a great number called Wolf. Give that wolf a banana. And we were
that
in
sounds
these.
like is that an actual Eurovision
Yeah.
song?
Oh yeah.
They were
It's a
dressed as
real.
wolves.
It
Yeah,
is.
and
Okay.
they're in these great yellow masks. And Michelle, who does all the costumes, she
Yeah.
does some amazing work, doesn't she, on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
costumes? And she made these incredible yellow wolf masks, but we couldn't see a thing.
Oh.
So we're
Just to add that element
So
to
we-
the unpredictability of it already.
So we went on to do this number, and there were times where we'd start the number, and I would think, I don't even know if Tim's made this quick change and is next to me or not. Like, I literally have no idea if he's there. But at the end of the number, we started chucking inflatable bananas into the audience. But what we didn't expect was that they were going to give a wolf a banana and throw them back at us.
Yeah.
And we couldn't see where they were, so we were tripping
Chaos.
over them, and
Yeah.
it was chaos.
Yeah.
And
Chaos.
that is what happens with this show.
And also the great thing about Eurovision Your Decision, like this is the 2nd year at the Royal Vauxhall Tavern, and James and John and Dave, who work there, they're really supportive of this show, and we feel like we found our sort of spiritual home, because
I'm glad you say that, because I want to talk about how special the Royal Vauxhall Tavern is. So just elaborate further, because this is a really important place in London and for the LGBTQ community, and Eurovision is often really held by the
absolutely.
community as well. So just talk about sort of marrying the Royal
Yeah.
Vauxhall Tavern together with the production.
I mean, the great thing, like the Royal Vauxhall Tavern is such a, as you said, iconic venue, and it's such a part of the gay community, especially. Do you know what I mean? And over the years, like, I remember when I moved to London, like thinking, oh, the RVT, And I've been really lucky for the past 12 years. I direct their panto every Christmas, so I know the space really well, and it just feels it's just that I feel like it's the heart of our show now. I really feel like it sits well in there, and it was really interesting. I did an interview recently, and one of the questions was like, they came to see the show last year, this journalist, and he said, the great thing about it, it's the RBT, it's such a lovely intimate space, but it feels like when you watch the show, it feels like you're in an arena. And I said, is that something that you do deliberately? And I went, absolutely. We play it like we are in a we play it like we're the O2. And that's from the energy of how we perform the songs, and just the atmosphere. And also when we've done our sellout shows though with this, with EYD, the audience give us so much. And this is such a show about the audience, really, to give them the enjoyment, and their reaction is, we feed off that reaction, don't we? I mean,
this audience has been
electric.
The most energetic audience that I've experienced doing the show, and they just get so involved, and the energy in the room, it's a real buzz. It does make you feel like you've come off stage from doing an arena tour or something. Like, it's crazy, it really is.
Gosh, I mean, what was an electric feeling that must be, being able to create that arena atmosphere within the Royal Vauxhall Tavern. And just talk a little bit more about why you think London is so into Eurovision and therefore it's so loving a production like this. What do you think it speaks to, particularly when it comes to this city?
I think for me, it's always been one of those things, and I think it comes back from my childhood as being sort of a young gay man, a young gay boy in the Northeast. And I remember watching it on the telly, and I think for me, it was always about escapism a little bit, and also the theatricality of Eurovision, because in the good old days of Eurovision, sometimes how they stage their numbers, like if you think back to Bucks Fizz, 1981, when they ripped the skirts off, and how shocking, and which is I think why they won, really. And I think Eurovision is always about it's always about the gimmicks. It's always a gimmick in a song. But I think it's just, I don't know, I think as I always say, Eurovision is like Christmas for gays. Do you know what I mean? But the interesting fact is, we did do this show in Liverpool 3 years ago, was it? 2 years.
Four was my first one.
Oh yeah, 4 years ago, when Liverpool was hosting the competition.
Of course.
And we placed the floor of the pavilion, which was
were you always going to be in Liverpool that year?
Yes, we did two productions. We had one in Liverpool and one in London running at the same time.
Oh wow, that must have been electric.
Yeah, it was. And the audiences in Liverpool were much more probably a straighter crowd.
Really?
But they just loved it as much.
Yeah.
It's made us think, actually, this show has such a great appeal.
Yeah.
And I think it's because, as I said earlier, whether you like Eurovision or not, it's comedy. And I think in these times we're in at the minute, in our life, I think we all just need to go and be silly and be entertained and have a laugh and not worry about what's going on in the world.
It's light relief, it's escapism, it's joy.
And that's what Eurovision is about.
Right,
it brings nations together and a celebration of...
And that's it. What's great about Eurovision, it is bringing so many cultures together, and what's great is the songs that celebrate individual cultures, and that's what's what's so interesting
Even
about
Give the Wolf a Banana.
Give the Wolf a Banana.
And it's just interesting seeing what each country brings, and they all bring a little quirk or a little something special or something traditional, and it's such a melting pot of great, exciting moments.
And I think Eurovision has evolved as well over the years, and I think with other European countries, when you watch it on the telly and they go to the voting, and there's town squares where there's people around in these town squares watching Eurovision on big screens. I think the UK was still a little bit behind in all of that. But when you go and you see the competition, what's the word? Competitiveness? No. Competitiveness. Sorry, I'm tired. I've been wearing tights. Do you know what I mean? I think it's it's a celebration.
Yeah. And David, I was going to ask, have you always been into, or historically been into Eurovision, or has your passion for it really come about because you've been in this production?
I definitely have had a reignited passion for Eurovision since doing this, but I used to watch it with my family. I remember being a kid, and I remember we would have scraps of paper and we would write our scores down.
Oh really? How lovely.
I don't think I ever made it through the voting because it used to be so long in the past. But it's been with our family. We used to love it, and we used to just love laughing at the quirks and the fun numbers and all the antics that went on.
Have your family seen you in this?
They have.
And what did they think?
They were shocked. No, they loved it, and they're coming back next Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah.
fabulous. Okay. And just really finally for you, Tim, you're the writer, you're the director, and you're a performer as well. So wearing all of those different hats, it sort of adds another layer for your experience. I wonder, is there any one of those that you're able to just kind of sort of, I don't know, which one can you release the most easily, or are you always in sort of director mode and always in all three of those modes whilst you're
I like when we get in it is performer mode, but putting it all together, and my process starts in sort of February time when I start selecting the songs, and make the running order is really important. So you take the audience on a journey musically, but also technically, it's all about who does what song and the costume changes. And who can make that? So when I write the voiceovers for the postcards, which we have the lovely Matt Richardson, comedian, does for us. Matt's a dear friend of mine, so he's not seen the show yet, but he's done the voiceovers for the past 4 years. But he's coming to see it this time, so he's gonna love it. It's gonna be hilarious. So yeah, it's just it's for me it's a lot of work, and it's huge thanks to Stephen, Leslie and Chris Darby, our producers, for really sort of supporting it and believing in the product. And knowing where it's going, and our supporters, our audiences, because we can't do it without them.
Well, it sounds like just a really high energy, fun, loving show as well. And gosh, we all need a little bit of that these days, don't we?
Absolutely.
And as I said, at the Royal Vauxhall Tavern, an iconic venue to home it in, so a perfect addition to the London landscape when it comes to performance, all things performance and cabaret. So let everybody know, Eurovision Your Decision runs from the 6th to the 16th of May. Nearly there, guys.
I
nearly there.
know. A week tonight.
At the Royal Vauxhall Tavern in Vauxhall. Tickets are available via vauxhalltavern.com. Thank you so much for coming through to have a chat. I think we should have a little bit of a dance. And the track, which I'm going to say you guys have chosen. Why have you chosen this one, Tim? We're going to have a bit of Gina G.
Because this was my favourite. I think one of my favourite Eurovision songs of all time. And it was one of the only one that actually made it to #1 in the UK charts, and then got knocked off from #1, and then the following week came back to #1. And I've done this song many times in Eurovision Your Decision. It's not in it this year.
Okay.
But it's a bop of a Eurovision, and it's just really, really silly and fun.
It is a bop. All right, well, let's get into a bit of Gina G. Thank you so much. What a pleasure to have you both here, Tim and David. Thank you.
Thank you
so much.